Hey guys, Jill McDonald here with another 10-Minute Tuesday. And do you love reading, but you have trouble fitting it into your already packed schedule? If so, stick around and I have top 4 tips for how to fit reading into your routine. So if you're like me, you already like reading. So I'm not going to try to convince you tonight about the benefits of reading or how it's so great for your brain health and your mental capacity and your relationships with other people. I'm not going to try to convince you of that. So if you already like reading, this video might be great for you. Because if you're like me, you grew up reading, but then you became an adult and you found yourself with a job and responsibilities and all these other priorities that take time away from your reading time. And so I also have a full-time job and I also run 3 businesses out of my house. So where in that routine of mine am I going to find time to actually spend time reading, which is something I seriously enjoy? So I found that it got pushed, basically to the furthest back burner on my oven and other things kind of overtook it. But last year I decided that I was going to change that and I wanted to get more reading back into my schedule. So there are 4 things that helped me do that, and I want to share those with you tonight. So number 1 is to set a reading goal. So what this does, it basically helps you make reading a priority. It's you saying to yourself, I have reading as a priority and I have a goal to read so many books in this amount of time. So what I did at the beginning of 2018, I started with a goal to read 25 books this whole year. So that's essentially 2 books a month, which is pretty aggressive, especially because I hadn't been reading for a while. And then after the first 3 months of the year, I actually blew through like 15 books and I thought I was doing really great. And I upped my goal from 25 books to 50 books because I was like, yeah, sure, no big deal. 25 is going to be easy. I'll be done with that, mid-year. So why don't I just up it to 50? Well, at the current time, I have read 23 books this year. So if you're doing your math right, I should have been done with those at the end of June, and here we are at the end of July, and I'm a little behind schedule. So I have 27 books to read in the next 160 days, which means I get about 6 days per book to meet my reading goal. So I am really going to have to be reading a lot, and using these tips that I have for you will help me blow through the rest of the content and the rest of the books I want to get done for the year. So set yourself a reading goal. Stick to it as much as you possibly can, but it's great to have a goal in place for something that you're going to shoot for. Number 2 tip for fitting more into your more reading into your time is join a book reading community. So I joined a couple different things that have definitely helped me with my book reading time, and one of those is joining Goodreads. It's an online website you can go to, goodreads.com, and it's basically an online community for people who are also reading books. So there's like an online bookshelf, there's reviews you can read, you can set up your own yearly challenge and track your progress. You can even track your progress through each book that you're on and the things that you're currently reading. So Goodreads is a lot of fun, just to kind of have other people there, kind of an accountability system to help them cheer you along too in your reading goals. And the second thing I did for a book reading community was I joined a book club. So you might think that's super nerdy, but I was really excited when somebody asked me, hey, do you want to be in my book club? And I was like, yes, actually this will already fit into my book reading goal for the year. But what's been so fun about that is it's a local group and it's just a few different friends, and we meet up once a month and we have a goal to read just 1 book per meeting. So that gives us basically plenty of time to read what we need to read, and then you come together and you analyze it together. And what I found is a lot of times when you do this, like, people read things and take things a totally different way than you do. So not only do you help get to bounce ideas off of each other or analyze the book together, but it really opens up your viewpoint on how you're actually viewing the world in general and gives you different people's ideas about how you could look at a certain situation in a different way. Been a lot of fun for me, so joining that book club has been awesome. Number 3 tip for fitting more reading time into your schedule is pick a format that you like. So obviously you can read a hard copy book. A lot of people like to do ebooks in some form, either like on a Kindle or their phone or whatever. Or there's lots of audiobooks, and those are just growing in popularity. So I still enjoy reading physical books, but only for certain things. So definitely for things with a lot of research, things with technical information or medical terms, or things that are like heavily cited with resources that they've pulled from. Definitely like reading those in a physical book so I can kind of go back and comprehend what exactly they're telling me. It's easier for me to understand the information. Ebooks can be really great for on the go, especially if you like to pack minimally and you don't want to actually pack a book in your backpack or your purse. But I don't actually like reading ebooks. I find them very distracting, and I always find myself scrolling too much because I like to keep the line of text that I'm reading at the top. So I'm actually doing a lot more work than I need to be doing when I'm reading an ebook, and it's just really not the thing for me, but a lot of people really enjoy that too. What I have done for sure though, that has definitely increased my reading time is audiobooks. I subscribe to Audible now, which is through Amazon, but it's like a Bookly month subscription, and you get different credits based on your subscription type. But for me, they're really great for listening to personal development books or fiction, things like dramas or thrillers or mysteries. Everything that I've read for our book club that I have has been an audiobook, and it's just been really easy to go through, a lot of fun. And so I like to listen to audiobooks in only a few different contexts, and this is what took me a little bit of trial and error to find out. Getting ready in the morning, driving to work, or cleaning the house, because these are things that I am basically doing on autopilot anyway. It's like repetitive things, or they're familiar tasks, and so I don't have to take a lot of brain power for the actual physical tasks that I'm doing, and instead I can listen to the audiobook and really get into the characters or listen to the content and really just enjoy the story. I do not enjoy listening to an audiobook if I'm doing something that actually takes a lot of my other brain power. So I can't actually like scroll through the internet and try to read an article while I listen to an audiobook. Like, that's just silly anyway, but that does not work for me. And I have also found that I personally like audiobooks for things that are like an 8 to 10 hour maximum of listening time has been perfect for me. And I really enjoy audiobooks that are read by the author, because you can really get the context in their voice of how they wrote the story or the line that you're reading, instead of just a voice actor who might not exactly understand the character or things like that. So audiobooks have been really fun when they've been read by the author for me. So number 4 tip for fitting more reading into your routine is reading on the go. So fitting reading into pockets of time that you already have. This is not like creating a whole new routine. This is like when you're at the waiting room at the doctor's office, or you're winding down before bed, or you're riding in the car, or taking a flight across the country, or honestly, you guys, going to the bathroom in the morning, sitting on the toilet. Like, you have so many little blips of time that usually you're just reaching for your phone and you're scrolling through social media, or you're keeping up on who knows what, that you can actually be grabbing for a book instead. So pack your book with you in whatever format that you like it, and every time you reach for your phone to do your scrolling, your mindless scrolling, instead pick up your book, and you honestly would be surprised at how fast you get through a book when you thought you didn't have any time for reading. So finding those pockets of time and using those a little more productively, reading is a great way to do that. So that is all for tonight, guys. I hope you enjoyed those top 4 tips for fitting reading into your schedule. And if you want to know what my top 3 books have been for 2018 so far, of the ones I've read, then just shoot me a message and I will send those over to you with a little short review for you. And I hope you enjoy that as well. So talk to you guys all again next week for another 10 Minute Tuesday. Bye.